Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerds Garage and 3 games and a hat! What?
They can see you. Nice sound effects though.
Welcome back to Nerds Garage and our new segment, 3 games and a hat.
Where we put 3 games in a hat, pull it out, and we play it and we're going to tell you about it.
And this week, we drew Tuscany out of the hat, which is actually one of our favorites. So, yeah, we like this game.
And we've been under isolation for 60-odd days, and there was a backlog of games that are shrink-wrapped, and we thought we'd get through them, and we just couldn't concentrate.
Yeah, what?
So, just like the comfort food we've been eating...
Lots of comfort
it's
food.
It's okay to gain weight during isolation.
Yeah.
We decided we wanted to go to a game that made us feel good, and we went back to Viticulture. Tuscany.
More specifically, the Viticulture with all of its add-ons and expansions, Tuscany and the cards.
Oh, there's so many.
There's so many.
The Rhine, the Moors.
Yeah.
All right, so we learned this game from a very knowledgeable and patient teacher.
Very patient, very knowledgeable.
And we loved it. And
yeah, super.
When we got back home, being impulsive as I am, I bought it all and all the expansions. And what do they suggest we should do when we get all the expansions to Tuscany?
I'm pretty sure that people on the interweb were really clear that you play Viticulture, and then you should do Tuscany with that,
True.
and then you do the next add-on a couple games later,
when you
and
feel
then
comfortable,
when you're all comfortable with the new rules, and you add something else
5
in.
games later, you get them all in.
Yep, and after you've played 5 or 10 games, you've added all these add-ons in, and it's smooth and easy and
beautiful advice,
flawless.
But you know what we did?
We ignored it.
Absolutely, and we're not sassing.
Nope.
At all. We just wanted to dive into a complicated game.
There was too much cool stuff, and complicated games don't scare us anymore.
Anymore.
We had so much fun making mistakes and finding them and going back and playing another game with the rule the right way. There was a lot of playing and figuring it out with everything in it, and then going through the rules and figuring out what we did wrong. And we did keep some of our mistakes in the game, but we won't say because we know how you are about Stonemaier Games. House rules.
Yeah.
We got them. But no, seriously, there's so much neat stuff in all these expansions, and it is work to learn new rules to a game you've already been playing, and then there's so many things to remember. And it's inevitable that you miss something, and that's totally fine, because then you're reading along later the next game about a different rule, and you go, oh, I see where we've gone wrong. And it's no big deal, because we're okay with making mistakes.
And
Malcolm, welcome.
All the new additions seamlessly fall into place and add whole new layers of strategy. And I think the heaviness of it helped us through this time in isolation, because we were able to go to Tuscany for hours
and disappear
into
it.
That,
oh yeah.
You know what made it better?
Cheers.
Having some Malbec in a nice viticulture glass.
I think this must be from your vineyard. It's pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly,
I have to say, my vineyard has been excelling until recently.
Her vineyard is exceptional. In other words, she kicks my butt just about every game, except for this morning.
I know, we had to play again.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about this game.
Yeah.
Most games, when you play, you're like, okay, that's fun, and it goes away after you've learned it and mastered it. This game, once we're done, I immediately want to reset and play again.
Yeah, we sat there last week. We sat and played 2 games, and we set up for a 3rd game, and then we realized that we actually had stuff that we were supposed to be doing besides, so we left that for the next morning. We had to wait, half a day to play again.
It's actually still set up on the table right behind the camera because I want revenge later.
Kind of won with a pretty big lead this morning.
First time you kicked my butt in a
while.
long time.
Yeah. I'm usually busy getting distracted by all the shiny lights in the game, all the different paths you can run down and rabbit holes and things to develop and ideas and all the neat stuff. And then I slowly realized that at some point I have to focus on a particular strategy. And I've been doing that the last few games, and I think she saw it coming, that I was getting some glimmer of hope going.
Well, here's the thing. The Mama and the Papa's cards are...
Yeah.
The choices of the two really set you up for how your strategy is for the game. And it's different each time. And I tried a whole new strategy this last time.
You did?
It didn't work. You won. But
so that's because you tried...
But that's the nice thing about it.
You're trying a new I saw you were doing a new strategy. And what happens in this game is it takes 2 or 3 games to fully develop a new strategy and make it work. And she's going to kick my butt. Either tomorrow at lunch or tomorrow at dinner. It's inevitable.
True story.
Unless somehow I get, I don't know, one of these other games on the table, but probably not going to happen.
Not yet. But the thing about the Stonemaier Games is that everybody at the Nerds Garage,
yeah,
and there's youngins to elders, enjoy the mechanics, the gameplay.
There's some Stonemaier game that's on everybody's at least one on everyone's different favorite lists, and usually more than. It's just the way it's come down. Is there's usually more than one, and they're all, everybody likes at least something, and they're incredible games. Not to be distracted.
The elders, love all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scythe is pretty awesome, but we're getting distracted from
Tuscany.
What you wanted to talk about.
Tuscany. All right, so what are some of the mechanics that you like?
It turns out that I like deck building games. I didn't know that I did. I've not ventured into them. I've done more complicated, crazy games for a long time. But I like deck building games with more than just deck building. And so this has lots of different components.
Worker placement. And
I like the worker
building.
placement combined with the deck building. And specifically, I like that you're building a vineyard. You have to choose which kind of grapes.
Oh, I guess we should let everybody know, if you haven't played, we've inherited a small vineyard in Tuscany with a couple of workers, and it's up to us to be able to acquire vines, to plant, to harvest to our small crush pad, and start getting orders to fill to make our dream vineyard.
Start with a little boutique wine and move up and slowly become either very successful or perhaps not.
I tend to make reds.
She does make reds. I made champagnes and rosés this time, which was a struggle for me because you have to be much more patient when you're making those than reds and whites in this game. And that's what I like about this game is there's chance of what cards come up.
Yes.
And then there's how you adapt to that chance, and that every game is it's like a brand new day. Every time is a completely different experience.
You know what I like about the new wake up chart is that you can, when you get to winter, if you pass, you get to put yourself on the chart. And most people go early on the chart to be first to the seasons. But we both are way into the summer and winter cards because we find that they're essential to getting a discount on building structures, to aging your grapes, to making more cups. So we're both fighting for slot 5 and 6.
Slot 5 and 6. And when we're playing with other people, it's more interesting because there's more people involved trying to vie for the different spots. But like anything else, when you're building a vineyard, everything costs money. You need resources. So how you get your coin in this game, and there's several different ways to do it, is very important. And you need the resources to build new structures. You need the resources to get more workers, endless. But there's lots of ways to get your coin or to get your resources built.
There's new options to trading cards for money or
there's cards that give you a discount on building a particular building. There's cards that let you, move resources around. It's very clever. It has not gotten repetitive at all.
It's well thought out.
It's the season. It's a year. Each round is a year, and it's quite fascinating.
And you know what I like is the new influence tokens.
Yes.
Where it's all the
little stars.
The Provence
in Tuscany.
Tuscany.
She likes Provence, but the game's in Tuscany. So sometimes we pretend we're in Provence.
Okay, my favorite book is A Year in Provence. But okay,
so yes.
So the influence tokens lets you, and you do that in spring. You put a star down, and you can get a card, coin, orders. But that's also banking for victory points at the end. At the end, whoever's got the most stars in each province, gets the victory points.
Yes.
So he's very sneaky. His thing is the stars. He always sits on that side. So I have to watch him.
She got me this time. She got the card.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
The winter card that said pay the points per number of cards, of stars in the influence area, and they go back to the owner.
Was it 3 coins per star?
It was 1. It got
1 coin per star.
6 coins, and all your stars were gone.
On the last turn of the game, she 86'd all 6 of my stars, so she ended up getting the victory points associated with those spaces because we'd been piling up.
That was beautiful. I was holding that. Clever. I was holding that from like the first year.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's a good card.
The structures are what we really like to draw too.
Yeah. The
incessantly trying to find the ones that we want.
We each have particular the orange colored structure cards are fascinating because they have so many different possibilities, and we each have ones that we are drawn to that we like to use more.
I like the ones to age the grapes.
Yeah, and so when we get those, they're sometimes expensive, but they're worth it if you get it at the right part of the game. Obviously, we love this game. And we could go on for hours about it.
The thing about this game is that, however it started, we didn't play the first when it came out. We came in at the right time, and we got all the expansions, and the variability makes it
endless. There's endless variability.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, you can try a strategy, and it takes 2 or 3 games to really develop it to where it's really, really ticking off and really kicking. And
I can always tell early when I got it. When my engine is built. In this last game, I didn't.
No, it didn't happen.
For once, the luck of the draw did not happen. And I was grabbing those cards, looking for what I needed. It didn't happen.
See what she's doing there? She's blaming the cards on her loss.
It was the luck of the draw.
And the luck of the draw sometimes will set you back, and I had also equally crappy luck of the draw at the beginning of this last game, but I adapted because I had planned on that. I had planned on just adapting to whatever I got and rolling with it. That was my strategy, and it worked because I looked at those cards and I was like, there's no way I'm getting anything done.
Yeah, he knew he had it. All right, so. And a neat thing you said the other day, the game's been on the table for a couple days.
Oh, wow. A couple weeks.
And you go, look at it. The board looks like a desk calendar of somebody who owns a vineyard.
Yeah, it looks like the desk blotter on somebody's thing. And I had never really noticed. There's little features. The art of the board is amazing. Yeah, there's lots of details on it.
Though I didn't see the hidden cat somewhere. Maybe that was before...
I haven't looked.
Biddy and Walter were hidden in the game.
Yeah, who knows? We'll have to go look.
I've looked.
Okay.
I've looked. That's the thing about the Stonemaier community is that if you have a question on social media, there's each game has a specific group, and they are so fast to
so good at helping out when you have a rules question or anything else about the games.
During the isolation, we went through Charterstone again with our son, which was amazing.
Wicked awesome.
But we all interpret the rules differently, and you go quickly to Facebook and ask the
in the Charterstone group,
community, and they'll give you answers. They'll give you reasons why and photos. The community for Stonemaier Games.
If you can't find a rule, if you can't understand something, if you don't see something, people are very helpful, and that's what's wonderful. Again, about that community, and we really enjoy that. It adds to the game. There's other games that we struggle because we have questions and there's nowhere to really ask the questions.
And I've tried. I'm like, well, maybe I'll find them on Facebook and ask them. I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Anyway.
And I just want to say, we're all going through a hard time right now, and I hope everybody's safe and well. And if you have something that takes you away for a few hours and makes you feel good, do it. And this was it for us.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Thank you, Stonemaier Games.
Thank you, Stonemaier Games, and everyone who likes and loves the Stonemaier Games and Tuscany and viticulture. That's it for now, I suppose.
And we're going to continue 3 Games in a Hat because we have an abundance of games that we haven't played that we need to get to. So
yes,
we're going to try to do it every week.
Yeah, y'all. If you see a game that you want us to play, send us a note. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
3 Games in a Hat.